Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video here in this series. Today we're going to be looking at Elon Musk, okay? So, bit of a controversial figure, I know. Whether or not you like him or hate him, he is a pretty prevalent person within our society. So I think it's a good idea to break down and look at, whether or not Elon Musk is someone you should be supporting or going against. So, we're going to start right out with the bad here. So the first thing is we're going to be talking about Elon Musk's sort of cryptocurrency scandals. So if you don't know this, Elon Musk is pretty involved within the cryptocurrency sort of investing scene. And it seems like every single time he tweets something, it sort of affects the market in weird ways. Now, this isn't something that's directly his fault, but the reason why I'm putting it in here is because he is aware of what he's doing. So for example, he'll tweet out like Dogecoin to the moon, right? And then everyone will start investing in Dogecoin. People will start putting their money in that. And then suddenly everyone's going to start pulling out just because Elon Musk said that, right? It's not directly his fault that people are losing money to these scams, but he is definitely playing a part into it because he knows what he's doing. He's even tweeted about it. So, again, not a terrible thing, but something that he definitely does do that is kind of annoying for people. And even people who have investments in his Tesla company, he'll tweet something out and the market will go up and down depending on what he says, right? So anyway, next thing we're going to be doing is the whole Twitter acquisition scenario. So again, Elon Musk acquiring Twitter, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just the way that he handles it, right? So if you guys don't know, when he first bought Twitter back in October and renamed it to X, he fired a ton of employees that were on the actual platform. Now, this is something that is a bit controversial, but I think his justification for it, or at least the running theory, is that he fired all those people because they basically weren't doing anything for the platform. And honestly, Twitter itself hasn't really had any issues other than just Elon Musk's poor choices for what he's done with the platform. Like, for example, removing the block button. I don't know what type of clown behavior that is, but I don't even know. But in terms of the servers and stuff like that, Twitter's been running fine. The UI's been good, everything's been all good. So maybe it was a good thing that he fired those people because they weren't doing anything. But again, it's really unfortunate that people had to lose their jobs. So realistically, there's really no way of winning that scenario. So anyway, next thing we're going to be going into is sort of a funny one, sort of a goofy thing, but basically it's how Elon Musk is a bit of a clown. Okay, so what I mean by this is Elon Musk is just sort of a big goofball, and he's funny to laugh at, okay? So, for example, he's done tons of things, but just one example is him going on the Dave Chappelle show and absolutely blowing it. If you guys don't know, Dave Chappelle is a very popular comedian, and Elon Musk got invited onto his show where he just talked about being rich, and then he got booed off stage, and he cried about it, okay? So, it's pretty funny, actually, and even just the type of posts that he makes on Twitter, the type of actions he takes with, for example, removing the block button and then trying to justify it, or also him trying to fight Mark Zuckerberg. Elon Musk is just a bit of a clown to laugh at. Everything that he does, everything that he says on, every podcast, it's just pretty funny to laugh at. And honestly, again, it's not a terrible thing, but it is something to definitely laugh at and take in consideration when you want to support him or not. So, next thing we're going to be looking at is the good that Elon's done, okay? Now, there is a lot to be done here in one specific area. So, the big thing that Elon does is, I'm sure you guys know, is that he is sort of a pioneer for the human race. He sort of revolutionizes the way that we do things on Earth. So, what I mean by this is, if you guys don't know, Elon Musk runs, a couple different companies. I know for sure he runs at least 4. I'm not sure if there's more, but for example, he first founded PayPal, which has allowed people to transfer money online. It's a big service I know people are still using to this day. He also funded Tesla, which I'm sure you guys know what that is, but it's basically just the electric car company, which provides people with electric cars, which are good for the environment, and people can charge them and shit. And also, he has Twitter, which, we previously talked about, but also he created one of the most important things probably is SpaceX. And SpaceX is essentially his own private space company where he is experimenting with space, sending people into space, and doing all that sort of stuff, right? Now, this doesn't really seem like that big of a deal, right? Who cares if he's sending people into space? But if you take into consideration what this actually means for the human race, okay? Space is one of those things that I feel like is just a really cool thing, and I think that's something that we should be exploring. And if you guys don't know this, I'm sure you guys know, but he's a very big proponent for getting us to Mars and actually colonizing Mars, right? So if we eventually do make it to Mars in 20 years, right? that would be revolutionary for our species, not just our time or not just our planet at the moment, but for our entire species. Making it to another planet and actually living there, that's like something that is just revolutionary, right? So it's all really being spearheaded by Elon Musk. You know, not a lot of other places or government agencies are really wanting to do that, but he really wants to do that, right? And he also invented different types of things like the rocket that will actually land itself, so you guys don't have to waste the sort of landing gear and all that stuff. And he's just a really big proponent for going to space, right? And I think that that's a very good thing for our world. I think it's a good thing we should be progressing into. And yeah. So next thing we're going to be looking at is the Musk Foundation. So this is something that he founded recently. And it basically is just a foundation where a bunch of his profits will go to. And it basically just is supposed to help with AI protection. So what this is basically doing is protecting AI from falling into the wrong hands and protecting it from potentially hurting potential just people on the internet, right? So I think it's a really good thing that he does. I don't think it's only for AI, but I think that's just the main thing. I'm pretty sure some other parts of it go to like food charities and stuff like that. But I think the main reason why he started it was to protect us from AI, right? So yeah. Now the next thing I want to talk about is how Elon Musk is sort of obviously he's a pretty smart guy if you guys just listen to like any podcast that he's on, but he is sort of provides a cool lens on a lot of different topics like AI and space and just issues in the world like nukes, stuff like that, right? He provides a very unique perspective on sort of things. It's kind of a small thing, but it is something interesting to listen to when he does speak on sort of world issues. And yeah. Now the last thing we're going to be looking at is that Elon Musk is a sort of down-to-earth person. Now what I mean by this is he's not down-to-earth like how, you know, Keanu Reeves is a super nice guy. He's more down-to-earth as in he knows what's going on. He's very much in the loop. Kind of like a YouTuber, I guess you could say. So what I mean by this is Elon Musk he's in a ton of different pop culture things. You know, he's kind of like Snoop Dogg. He's in movies like Iron Man. He's in games. He's in TV shows like Rick and Morty. He is, you know, on Twitter, always tweeting out memes and stuff. He's just a really big proponent of pop culture. He's almost like a teenager, just like living out his adult days, sending people into space and stuff. It's pretty funny, actually. You know, I'm sure you guys know this. He tweets out funny memes, spicy memes, whatever you want to call them. They are kind of stupid, but sometimes they are pretty funny. And I think that he is just a really down-to-earth person who knows a lot about, you know, stuff that's going on. He even made a video with PewDiePie. He's just a really down-to-earth person, you know. And I think that's definitely something to be noted rather than being some big top government, you know, secret guy, right? He's just down-to-earth and open to the public. So now for the big question, whether or not you should support Elon Musk. Personally, I know this is going to be pretty controversial, but I do think that we as a species should be supporting Elon Musk. Now, I know he does do some goofy stuff. I know that he does have some controversial takes, but if we're looking at what he has done for our species in terms of the things that he's made, like clean vehicles and also trying to get us to Mars, I think that he's someone that you should be supporting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more of these, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.